One girl was like, look. And I'm like, what do you mean look? And she's like, look in the garage. I was completely and utterly embarrassed. I had to really register what I just saw with my 2 eyes. Hey goodies, welcome back to my channel. It's your good girl Adore. So guys, I decided to come on this beautiful Sunday evening and bless y'all with another story time. You know guys, I'm the queen of stories and I literally have stories to tell for days because my life is crazy. My life is really crazy. So what made me decide to tell this story is actually because I was talking about it not too long ago with my mom, and I was like, you know what, I should tell this story to my goodies. Like, this story is just completely get out. So anywho, before we get into this video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also do not forget to turn on your post notifications so you guys are notified when your good gal posts. And also do not forget to follow me on my social medias. That is my Instagram and my Twitter, because I'm popping on there. And why aren't you guys following me on my social media? Like, that is so rude. Like, you gotta support the kid. Guys, let's just jump into this video. So this situation, okay, I'm gonna give y'all a little backstory on like how I met this friend and like our history and all that stuff. So for this story time, I'm going to call my friend, her name's gonna be T. Okay, T. So me and T actually met in grade 4. Like, yeah, this was like my OG original bestie. Like, she was actually one of my first best friends, and till this day I still have love for her, even though like I don't know where she is, but I still have love for this girl. Anyways, so me and T actually met in grade 4. The joke of it all, when we first met, she hated me. Like, she completely hated me. She actually bullied me for a few months when I first started school. In the middle of the year, she actually admitted to me that she was like jealous of me, and that's how, from that point on, like, I don't know what switched, but we ended up becoming real like close. When I tell you, this girl was like my best bitch. Like, she was, me and her were like this. Like, she was pretty much like my sister, honestly. Around grade 6, I ended up leaving Montreal and moving to Toronto. So obviously within moving to Toronto, we would talk here and there on Facebook, and that was about it. So probably like 3 years later, me and my family ended up moving back to Montreal. We ended up coming back to Montreal, and at this time we were in high school, so I'm still in contact with my good sis. So we did end up meeting up like probably a few months after I arrived in Montreal, and it honestly felt like old times. Like, this was my good sis. Like, I thought that we were just gonna go back into how we were, but sadly after that one meetup, we ended up not seeing each other for another 2 years, even though we literally lived in the same city. But that was also because she lives kind of far out. Like, she lived in the suburbs, or like she just lived in a far area compared to where I lived. You know, high school, we didn't have cars, like, and nobody was really trying to take the bus all the way where she was. Also, T, her father was super strict. Like, her father would not let her go anywhere without him knowing, and he definitely didn't feel comfortable with her being too far from him at this time. So that's basically why we never really hung out until 2 years later. We ended up talking on Facebook, and she basically told me that she misses me and she wants to see me, like she wants to have a sleepover. So of course I'm like, girl, like we haven't seen each other in years, like you have to come over. Basically how it was back in the day too, like we would always have sleepovers. She would always come over my house and we would just have a blast. If she decides to come over, her father drops her at my house, and like I told y'all, her father was strict as hell. Like he always wanted to know everything. Like even back in the day, anytime she would sleep over, he would want to know if we were going anywhere, want the address. He would make sure he had my mom's phone number just in case he has to come and check up on her. Like he was just doing the most. But it's understandable, like as a father you have to be protective over your daughter, but sometimes he would just be OD, like he would just do too much. I thought obviously as we got older, like you would think he would lay up off of her and not be so overprotective, but he actually got even worse. I set up a whole bunch of stuff for us to do because the poppin' party that was supposed to happen this weekend, and I had to be there. It was actually one of those all ages type parties, and if y'all know, y'all know, like them all ages dancehall parties used to be it back in the day. So you know, we've been heard about this party for months now, okay? And I just knew I had to be there. Her father ended up dropping her over my house. Like I said, I thought he would lay up off of her. He wouldn't be so overprotective over her and let her just, you know, hang, like sleep over, and that would be it. But he was like serious this time. Like he was like, oh, if you're going anywhere, make sure you tell me, make sure you're back at a certain time, and make sure you call me, and blah 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 blah. She was gonna say okay, like we said okay. At the end of the day, like we're still gonna go out. Like sorry, not sorry, sir. Like we still gonna go out regardless of what you tell us to do, but we will just say okay, so you don't, so she could just have this sleepover and be at peace. It was that. Then once he left and she got comfortable and stuff, I told her like, girl, we're gonna be going to this like party. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but you better tell your father like something, or at least call him, because he actually told her to call him every 2 hours to make sure he knew where she was. So I'm like, girl, you're gonna have to do that so we could go to this party and he doesn't suspect anything. So she's like, yeah, I know how to get away with my, like I know what to do. So I was like, okay, bet. We ended up going to the party, and because T's father was so strict, T never actually been to a party or a jam. Her first time actually going to a party like this. So you know, sis was excited because she's not used to being out. She's not used to doing stuff like this. Long story short, T ended up wilding at this party. She was doing a lot. When I honestly wish I had a video of how this girl was acting at this party. Like, it was completely just wild. Like, I never seen anybody act like that at a party. She just completely broke out. Like, niggas was lifting her up. She was getting bent over in the corner. She was just doing a lot. And I was completely shocked because I'm not used to this. Like, when I go out and party with my friends, like, we dance. Yes, we'll dance with niggas, we'll give a little bubble and all these things. Like, we're cute with it, but the way she was acting was just so unclassy. And I'm not here to judge nobody, but certain behavior, like, I don't like that. Like, you're not about to be here with me acting a damn fool and having niggas bend you over and just have you looking a whole fool, like, in the party. A bunch of friends from school that was there, and they even had to come up to me and was like, girl, like, what's up with your friend? Like, what's up with your friend? Why is she acting like this? She was like a caged up animal finally being free. Because I don't know if it's because she wasn't able to ever go out, so when she did get the chance to go out, she just completely broke out. After that weekend, I honestly didn't see T until another year, because obviously her father's not stupid. He knew that we ended up going out or ended up going to a party or something, and he was not having it. And when I tell you, T completely embarrassed herself at this party. So I was kind of looking at her sideways at this point, because it's like, damn, like, I can't be associated with shorties that move like that. I go to parties, I'm not stush or nothing, but I do carry myself a certain way, and the way she was acting was just completely disgusting. Like, she just straight out embarrassed me, and I was really not interested in, like, going to no more social events with her. That ain't it, sis. Like, you can't be having niggas bend you over and flip you up and down in a party. Like, that's just not cute. And we still kept in communication, but because her father suspected that we went out that day, that night, he didn't really let her sleep over my house after that. Like, another year goes by, and at this point, I think we were like 17, 18. So we're like technically grown now. Her father's not, he kind of eased off of her at this time, but he was still being his strict self. But obviously, because she's 18 now, like, he can't really control what she does. Even though how she acted at that party the year before, I never really held it against her. We ended up hanging out a year later, and I had another event to go to. I know y'all probably think like the first situation was what this story is gonna be about, but no, the story still continues, guys. So my friend actually had a birthday party coming up. He told T, like, my friend has a party coming, and if you want, like, if you're down to come with me, like, just let me know. You know, you could come over, spend the night, and we'll just go to the party. He comes over my house, and, you know, we get ready to go to my friend's birthday party. My mom ends up dropping us at this birthday party, and, you know, I'm excited. I see all my friends from, like, school, because at this time school was over. We graduated high school, so I was just happy to see all my old friends from school, reacquaint with people that I haven't seen in a while. I introduced them, I introduced my friend to T, and everything is cool. Like, the birthday party, it's going just fine. Probably like an hour after being at this party, this one guy walks into the party. I somewhat knew about this guy, but like, I never really spoke to him like that. I just would see him around. T knew who he was, and when I tell you, once this guy walked down those stairs, T got super excited. Like, she was like, girl, like, that's so-and-so. And I'm like, yeah, I know about him. Like, yeah. And what? And she was like, yeah, like, me and him used to talk and blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh really? Really? Like, okay. On about this guy, and she was just so happy to see him. So I was like, okay, she obviously likes this guy. Comes downstairs, and she just automatically walks over to him and is like, oh hey, like, oh hey, what's up, like, oh, long time no see. They just started talking and talking, and I didn't think anything of it. I'm there hanging out with my friends, we're having a fun time, and I noticed that I don't see T anymore, and I don't see the other guy either. So I'm like, okay, they might have went, I guess they went outside. I'm enjoying myself, you know, it's my friend's birthday party. I'm hanging out with the people that I'm cool with, and I don't think anything is going on. Like, I'm just chilling. After that last party I invited T to, I just had to watch her, because I know sometimes when she goes to these parties she starts to act up and just act wild. I started to, like, you know, wonder where she was, because I'm downstairs, I'm not seeing her come back downstairs for, this was probably like a whole hour now. So, you know, I'm getting worried. I want to know where my friend is. You came with me to my friend's party. Like, how the hell you gonna just leave or like disappear like that? Like, no, that's not what we're about to do. So I ended up walking upstairs to go look for her. So I'm looking around, I don't see her nowhere. I don't see her in the kitchen, I don't see her nowhere. This was my friend's parents' house. Like, she had her birthday party at her parents' house, so obviously her mother's upstairs, her father's upstairs, like anywhere to be found. She's like nowhere upstairs. Walking towards the door outside to see if maybe she's outside. So y'all, this is where this story gets crazy. So I'm walking outside. I see everybody laughing, like hysterically laughing, like people outside laughing and pointing towards my friend's garage. And I'm just there wondering, like, why is everybody laughing? Like, what is so funny? So I walk up to everybody and I'm like, oh, yo, have you seen my friend T? And everybody laughing, like everybody just burst out laughing. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, I really thought I was going crazy. Like, did I say something funny? Like, what's so funny? One girl was like, look. And I'm like, what do you mean look? And she's like, look in the garage. So I'm just there like, okay. Walk towards the garage and I peep over in the corner, and guess who I saw bent over getting her back blown. My good sis of how many years is here getting back shots in my friend's family's house.
Ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
I was completely and utterly embarrassed. I was speechless. Could not believe what I was seeing with my two eyes. I just had to walk up back into that house and just sit down. I had to really register what I just saw with my two eyes. I invite this girl to these people's house, and this is what she decides to do with the girl's family there. Like, my friend's family, her parents are literally there. Her father or her mother walked outside to the garage and saw that. Like, how would that, like, that's crazy. Like, how could you be so slack and disgusting? Like, how can you act like that? I just didn't understand. I couldn't understand. And I'm like, there's no way this is the same girl that I've been friends with since grade 4. Like, whole different person. This is not the same T that I met a few years ago. Like I told y'all, she embarrassed me the year before at that all ages party. But this this is like taking it to a whole nother level. Like, sis, this is just complete slack behavior. Like, how can you do that? There's a whole bunch of people at this party that I know. These are people that I went to school with, and it's like, for me to bring a friend around these people and she's acting like that, what does that say about me? Because you know what they say, you are who your friends are. Even though these people know me and know how I act, it's still not a good look for me to have a friend doing that. Like, that's just not okay. I just called my mom and told her, like, I'm ready to go. And obviously my mom, my mom knows when something's wrong with me, and she's asking me like, oh, what happened? Like, where's T? Like, what's wrong? And I just don't want to tell her, because who's trying to tell your parent? Like, nobody's trying to tell their parents that their friend is literally getting back shots in somebody's garage. Like, no. So I was just like, I just want to come. I just want to go home. Like, can you just please come pick me up? Mom's like, okay, I'll be there like in the next hour. I guess after T finished getting her back blown, she decides to walk back into the house and come see me downstairs. And when she comes up to me, I was just like so disgusted. Like, I literally had no words for her. She picked up on my energy because I was giving her so much attitude. Like, I was so disgusted. Like, she definitely knew that I was not fucking with her after that. The only thing I could really tell her was that, oh, get your stuff packed because my mom's soon coming to pick us up. She just knew. I think she knew at that point, like, this friendship is probably not gonna be how it used to be. After an hour passed, my mom finally comes. She picks us up, and my mom knew. Like, once I came in the car, she knew that something was off. Like I said, I wasn't gonna talk T's business in front of my mom, like, well, in front of her. Obviously, I told my mom when T finally went home, but in the car, I wasn't gonna talk about it. So I just was quiet the whole ride. And even once we got home, like, I was still quiet. I was still just like, yeah, like, she was still my girl, but I just couldn't. I could not. Like, you can't be around me acting like that. This is not the first time she was acting out at a party. Like I told y'all, she acted out the first time I brought her to a party. That was already crazy enough, but now you're gone too far, girl. You're gone too far. T ended up going home the next day, and after that night, I didn't really speak to her as much. Like, we still kept in contact and stuff. I just feel like things changed. Like, we're different people. We're older now. We're definitely not how we used to be, and I could tell, like, our energy is just in two different places. Thing I noticed as I got older, the people that I was cool with in high school or at one point in my life and start to really take in life, you realize certain behaviors, certain characteristics you just can't mess with. And especially if you're trying to build something for yourself, you just can't be associated with certain type of people and certain type of, like, just certain things that people do. And I was just over it. I wasn't into whatever she was trying to do, so I just kept it cool with her. Like, I still don't have no hard feelings towards her. Like I said, she was my OG bestie. Like, she was literally like a sister to me. We grown now. Things are changed. Things have changed, and she's obviously a different person than the T that I knew in grade 4. So that is the end of my story. That is the time my friend completely and utterly just embarrassed me in front of everybody at a party. Leave comments below. Let me know what you guys thought about this story. Like, what would you guys do in that situation? Would you still be cool with that person? Like, just let me know, because I know some people would be like, damn, like, you shouldn't have cut her off if that was supposed to be your friend. I get that, but it's like I said, me and her, she was still my girl, but I just couldn't be as close as I once was with her, and I definitely couldn't go to places. I couldn't go to no events with her because she just didn't have no manners. How to behave when anytime I took her or invited her to events. So like I said, leave comments below and let me know what you guys thought. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and do not forget to follow me on all my social medias. I will see you guys in my next video. Stay safe and stay blessed. Bye.